Ladies and gentlemen, the courtroom has seen some of the most bizarre, jaw-dropping, and downright laughable defenses in history. From people blaming ghosts to claiming they were sleepwalking, criminals have tried every trick in the book to escape justice. But do these strange alibis ever work? Today, we're diving deep into some of the weirdest excuses ever used in court. And trust me, you won't believe what you're about to hear. Strangest alibi defenses. The weirdest excuses criminals have used in court. It was my evil twin. We've all heard of the classic evil twin excuse in movies, but what if I told you someone actually tried it in real life? Back in 2009, a man named Richard Spires was accused of robbing a convenience store. But when the police arrested him, he had a foolproof alibi. It wasn't me. It was my twin brother, Ross. The problem? Richard's twin had been in a different state the entire time. Despite his best efforts, Richard couldn't prove Ross was the real culprit. And the jury saw through the ridiculous alibi. The judge sentenced him to 10 years in prison. Moral of the story: if you're going to blame your twin, at least make sure they're actually around to take the fall. I was sleepwalking. In 1987, a man named Kenneth Parks made headlines when he claimed he wasn't responsible for a crime because he was asleep the whole time. One night, Kenneth drove 14 miles to his in-laws' house, broke in, and committed a serious crime. But when he was caught, his defense was shocking. He was sleepwalking and had no memory of what he had done. Sounds ridiculous, right? Well, hold on, because medical experts actually backed up his claim. Kenneth had a history of sleep disorders, and brain scans showed he might have been experiencing an episode of automatism, a condition where the brain acts on autopilot with no conscious control. The jury believed him, and he was found not guilty due to sleepwalking. So the next time you walk to the fridge half asleep for a midnight snack, just be glad you're not walking into a courtroom instead. A ghost made me do it. We've heard of the devil made me do it. But what about ghosts? In 2015, an Indonesian man named Sumanto shocked the world when he was accused of a crime and defended himself by claiming he was possessed by a spirit. He argued that a ghost had taken control of his body and forced him to act against his will. The judge, unimpressed, asked for actual evidence of this supernatural claim. Sumanto, unable to summon his ghostly co-defendant, was quickly found guilty. Nice try, buddy. Maybe next time bring an exorcist as your lawyer. It was a video game. Ah, the age-old excuse, it was just a game. But what happens when someone tries to use it in court? In 2003, an 18-year-old named Devin Moore committed a crime so shocking that he needed an even more shocking excuse. Grand theft. Auto made him do it. Devin argued that playing GTA for hours every day had programmed him to act violently in real life. His defense team tried to claim that video games had warped his sense of reality, making him unable to tell right from wrong. Now, do violent video games have an influence on behavior? That's a debate for another time, but the court wasn't buying it. Devin was found guilty, and the case sparked a national debate about video games and crime. Moral of the story: maybe don't blame a game for your real-life actions. The court isn't a PlayStation. I thought it was April Fool's. One of the most ridiculous defenses ever came from a man who tried to convince a judge that his crime was just a prank gone wrong. That's right. He claimed it was all just an elaborate April Fool's joke. A man in Texas was caught stealing thousands of dollars worth of electronics, but insisted that he had planned to return them after scaring his friend. Unfortunately for him, the law doesn't have an exception for April Fool's crimes, and he was sentenced accordingly. And nice effort, but maybe next time stick to whoopee cushions and fake lottery tickets. Aliens made me do it. Yes. Aliens. In 1981, a man in Florida was arrested for crashing his car into a telephone pole while completely intoxicated. But when questioned, he had a straight face and a strange story. Aliens took control of my body. He said extraterrestrial beings had taken over his motor functions and caused the crash. He even described what they looked like: tall, silver, and glowing eyes. He insisted he wasn't drunk, just used as a puppet. Spoiler alert, the breathalyzer didn't lie. He was over the legal limit. Lesson? If you're going to blame aliens, maybe make sure there aren't test results ready to ruin your UFO story. My dog downloaded the illegal files. In 2009, a man was charged with illegally downloading thousands of copyrighted movies and music files. When questioned, he said, "It wasn't me. My dog jumped on the keyboard and downloaded everything." That's right. He blamed his dog for pirating movies. When asked how a dog managed to navigate torrent sites, select specific files, and store them neatly in folders, he just shrugged and said, "He's a smart dog." Needless to say, the court wasn't convinced. Your dog might be man's best friend, but he probably didn't binge download the entire Fast and Furious franchise. I'm a time traveler. This crime hasn't happened yet. In 2011, a man arrested for trespassing and attempted robbery told police, "I'm a time traveler from the year 2048. I came back to stop this crime from happening." He insisted that the authorities had the timeline all wrong and that arresting him was interfering with the future. He even begged them to send him back to his ship. Unfortunately for him, the only thing they sent him to was jail. Takeaway? Time travel's cool, but maybe try to blend in before you go breaking into buildings. And I'm actually Batman. During a court hearing for burglary charges, one man claimed his actions were justified because, "I'm Batman. I was investigating a case." He insisted he was chasing the real villain, but got caught up in the situation. He even wore a homemade Batman t-shirt under his hoodie in court. Needless to say, the court didn't buy the superhero story. Outcome? The only cave he ended up in was a jail cell. The verdict on crazy alibis. So what have we learned today? Well, if you're ever in court, maybe don't try to blame a ghost, a video game, or April Fool's Day for your actions. Juries aren't as gullible as you think. But now I want to hear from you. Which of these alibis do you think was the craziest? And do you think any of them actually had a chance at working? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more mind-blowing crime stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and remember, if you ever need an alibi, maybe just tell the truth.